Aharen-san wa Hakarenai, or Aharen is Indecipherable, is an anime that aired in April 2022. It originally had a manga written by Asato Mizu that started publishing in 2017. The best way I can describe Aharen is that it's mostly a comedy show with a little bit of romance. The two main characters are Raido Matsuboshi and Reina Aharen, and they're kind of similar in a way. Stoic weirdos who both have had trouble making friends when they transferred into school. When they happen to be sat next to each other in class and Raido starts to interact with Aharen, they basically slowly start to become best friends. However, we come to why the show is named Aharen is Indecipherable. Aharen starts off being really hard to communicate with. While she is capable of talking, she's so shy that anytime she moves her mouth, she has trouble being heard. A lot of the humor is just straight up trying to communicate with her, or at least it's that way at the beginning. Getting more into my actual opinion, I've been watching anime for over 13 years. I still enjoy the medium as a whole, but I'm now very picky on what I watch since I've been pretty satisfied with what I've watched anime-wise up until this point. I almost never watch shows ongoing, for example. However, I admit that I almost glossed over Aharen, and if it weren't for the recommendation of my brother, I may have not even checked it out. I'm really glad I decided to check out this show because it is now one of my favorite anime, and Reina Aharen herself is my new favorite girl from anime and manga. As far as Japanese 2D weeb fiction goes, I've actually been more into visual novels, which have helped me figure out that I actually have a preference for quirky, weird, but wholesome girls. In anime, there are certainly quirky-ish girls out there, but none that really matched my preferences somehow. Reina Aharen fit exactly what I wanted. She's very quirky and hilarious, but somehow still a very wholesome, nice girl at heart. And the whole thing of just her wanting to get more friends was a very subtle but relatable theme that I really liked. While a lot of the show is mostly comedy, there are a pretty solid amount of wholesome moments related to how Raido and Aharen basically are open with how much they appreciate each other being friends with each other. Honestly, it was this particular part that really got me interested in the show, because I'm all about wholesome slice of life, with the cherry on top being the pretty funny and unique comedy. And well done, non-cheesy friendship scenes are hard to find in any weeb media for me personally. Given how the anime ended, I honestly can't understand how anyone watching any show with any amount of romance can watch several seasons where a main couple doesn't get together, or hell, never get together at all. Perhaps visual novels have spoiled me, because usually in visual novels, romance for the most heroines starts relatively quickly once you get into their route. Anyway, Raido and Reina's relationship shows my personal ideal anime couple, ones that are basically best friends even when they get into a romantic relationship. Sure, Raido gets kind of dense at times, like many male protagonists, but at least they made the humor around that a lot more unique than usual. I have seen some criticisms of how the comedy can be kind of repetitive and predictable, and to be fair, sometimes it is. Thankfully to me, I almost never got tired of any of it, with the teacher's character being in the running for the funniest character in the show with her constant shipping of the main couple. Now, as much as I like Aharen-san the show, I do have some flaws that are worth putting out to be fair. I personally wasn't a fan of the humor of using Reina's little brother Ren as a cross-dresser or a trap. Similarly, the kid characters and even Reina's childhood friend ended up being annoying more often than not. And while I said most of the humor mostly didn't get old, I did think Raido's imagined spots did get a little bit too predictable and repetitive towards the end of the show. But outside of those flaws, the Aharen-san show is definitely in my top 10 anime. And of course, Reina Aharen herself is now my favorite girl in anime and manga. To me, it's quite saddening that many people considered Aharen-san a mid show at best, even within the season it aired. It didn't even make any of the categories in official anime awards for 2022. I think the show is a breath of fresh air for comedy while still having very solid, wholesome character interactions. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any feedback about Aharen or this video, feel free to leave a comment below. Also, I mentioned visual novels earlier. My main YouTube channel is exclusively about visual novels, so if you're interested in that, I'll have a link to my main channel in the channel description.